So what's our intro today?
This movie can only have one intro. You know it.
Servus Freunde, my name is Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Deniz the Buddymeister. We know we kinda announced that our next review was going to be Tumbat, but now and then a new movie gets a sudden release here in Vienna and we just take the chance. Especially if we know the director and the actors that are in it.
Exactly, we knew director Karthik Subbaraj from Pisa, which we reviewed last October, and we of course knew who Rajni is, and we certainly don't have to tell you about that. We are still feeling the aftermath of our, let's say, harsh review of 2.0, at least a little bit. At the end of it, we said we would like to see Rajni in a more restrained, character-driven film, so we went with Petta, where he's an unbeatable badass who's thrashing everybody who comes in his way. But still, he was so much more enjoyable in this one.
No doubt about that. Let's break it down real quick. Petta is a 2019 Tamil language action film that was written and directed by Karthik Subbaraj. It stars Rajinikanth, Vijay Sethupathi, Nawazuddin Siddiqui, Simran and Trisha, amongst others. And the story revolves all around Rajni's Kali, I guess.
Yes, Kali works as a hostel warden, but there is more to him than meets the eye. Because things take an interesting turn when the hostel students get attacked by dreaded gangsters. And that's more or less all that we can say, even if the movie isn't that full of twists. But I guess the less you know, the more fun you'll have with it.
I have to say something here, and I already told you this right after we left the cinema. Petta is one of these movies where I can firmly state that if you do not know Indian cinema, you're really missing out on something. That movie is so much fun, it is so bonkers, and things happen in Petta that I have never ever seen before in a movie, and that is awesome.
Yeah, I think I can support this notion, because it's probably been a long time since we both sat in the cinema with open mouth going, what the hell is happening? And that really happened to us in the last 15 minutes.
It did. Petta is almost 3 hours long, and it's definitely a bit too long, maybe 20 minutes or so, but it is so entertaining and well made in general. It is of course Rajni's movie.
Absolutely. Again, we criticize Rajni quite a bit for his performance in 2.0 or him being cast in it at all, but I think in Petta we get more of the classic Rajni. He's loose and slick in this one, and it shows that he had fun with the material. He really shines. He dances, he fights, at least a bit. He shows his comedic chops, he shows that he can be the best entertainer there is.
He really is the king of cool in this movie, that's for sure.
Yeah, this is of course a big salute to Rajni and his work, and we probably didn't even get half of all the references that were spread all over the film. Director Subbaraj said that he's the biggest Rajni fan on the planet and always wanted to work with this legend. But it still has enough to offer, not only to be brushed aside as a fan film, I think.
The film has a lot to offer, but also the theater experience that we got with it. Before we get more into Indian cinema, we had no idea that this kind of passion for a movie star still exists.
Oh, you're absolutely right. The crowd we watched it with, which is the Indian community in Vienna, with us two being very likely the only two non-Indians, they were cheering and whistling and also shouting. In the first 15 minutes, whenever Rajni was doing something, just remotely cool, oftentimes it was enough for him to walk through a door. Some people in the audience were celebrating like crazy. Our ears almost went numb.
What?
He's still recovering from it.
But honestly, it was a wild experience and something that might be unique to Indian blockbuster cinema. At least I don't know any other cinema nation that comes close to it.
Me neither.
Petta clearly functions as a star vehicle for Rajni, and so of course he's the focus of it all. But I also like Vijay Sethupathi very much as this son of a powerful politician asshole who just spoils parties and beats everybody up. And we of course have Nawazuddin, who's just always great, even if he's only standing around.
I guess we could have and should have learned more about Nawazuddin's character and all the differences and conflicts between the families and the casts and how it all went down the drain. But then again, in a movie like this we probably don't need to overcomplicate things. And we have this nice flashback sequence where at least some things get explained.
Especially in that sequence, Petta has this neat western feel that pops up every now and then. And it also includes one of those what the fuck moments where things just get done. No rules, only awesomeness.
Awesomeness, but also highly questionable actions. But this is a genre movie, and I often think that those big modern blockbusters from India very much still function like those American action movies from the 80s and 90s. They might have always been this way, but that's just my observation from an outsider's perspective, where the hero is pretty much always playing by his own rules. And as you said, Petta has this nice western feeling to it sometimes, and a lot of the scenes are carried by the great soundtrack.
Yeah, composer Anirudh Ravichandar is only 28 years old. Really impressive work with great instrumental themes for the different characters that really stick with you. The themes for Singar Singh and Jitu are fantastic.
Combined with Tiro cinematography, we get some stunning images. And the songs were nice as well. Maybe not all equally good, but I will definitely give them another listen and see how things evolve.
One thing that definitely could have been handled better is the action, or some of the action. The editing diminishes it more than once by being too fast. You don't always see all the connective tissue. Rajni lunges out for a kick or a punch, and the next scene is how the guy is flying through a window or a table or something, so you don't see the actual kick or punch.
Yeah, that's really a pity and might be partially attributed to Rajni's age. He still brings across the biggest, most glowing screen presence in this one, but for some of the action, the movie probably have to work around him a little bit. But nevertheless, there are some action scenes that are quite compelling, and as we already said, the technical aspects in general are fine.
Still, Petta is a pretty exciting ride that Rajnified us both. The story certainly is all but new, but the entertainment factor takes the upper hand and won us over.
Definitely, Petta is overlong and really should have been more focused and streamlined, and once again many elements and characters are quite underwritten, but that doesn't change that the entertainment value is pretty high all the time. So in German we'd say,
Wir sind Rajnifiziert.
I give Petta 7 out of 10. It's more like 7.1, but I don't do that.
For me, it's 8 out of 10. It's more like 7.7, but I don't do that either.
இப்போ என்ன பண்ண போறோம்?
ஸ்வீட் சாப்பிட போறோம்.
So that's it for today. We hope you liked our review of Petta, and please give us your thoughts about the movie in the comments.
And our next review will be Tumbat. For real this time.
Until then, you can hit me up on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram simply at the Jimmy Cage.
And you can hit me up simply at the Buddymeister.
And you know the drill. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And make sure you hit that bell for all we have to tell.
Okay, gut, passt.
Noch irgendwas? Nee.
Nee, dann.